just making sure it's just coming up. But yeah, like I said before, I was just surprised that Sheamus they won, like you, Gary. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, definitely, we'll see. But I'm not mad at Riddle losing. I'm glad he lost in a good way. I'm glad there wasn't any shenanigans going on. It was a hard hitting, and that counter was amazing. When he hit that bro kick was just amazing. So I'll take that. I'll take that win for Sheamus.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, it was a good win for Sheamus, and again, he ended up beating Riddle. So the next match of the night, then, Gary, was the Nigerian drum fight match for the Intercontinental Championship, and Big E actually lost to Apollo Crews, and Apollo Crews, as you predicted, Gary, is now the new Intercontinental Champion.
The match itself, the action was good, but you call it a Nigerian drum match, but nobody was drumming. I don't get it.
Well, yeah, like you had like a bunch of like drums out there. Like there was one or two drums, but but they didn't even use them. So, but like
then you had yeah.
No, sorry, you carry on, Gary.
Yeah, I said I mean they actually good. They were going to talk those candlesticks. I mean it was okay, but I wanted to see the drums at least, in some type of fashion.
And yeah, and like the match itself was all right, but I mean, yeah, it was just more of a street fight, really, just kind of more of like an ODQ match, but just again with like drums out there and yeah. So and I liked also the spot as well where they kind of again were trying to revisit the spot of where again Apollo dumped the steel steps on Big E back on SmackDown a few weeks ago. I thought that was a good a good bit of storytelling there, because if you remember, he tried to do it again, but this time Big E moved out the way.
Took on the steps. That was tough. That looked like it hurt.
Well, yeah. So, but I mean, what did you think of Apollo winning again? Are you happy with Apollo?
Yeah, I'm happy he won. How nobody remembered Dabba-Kato. I know who he was from Raw Underground, but nobody else did it on the announce team. So that's interesting, And that's one thing I kind of like about WWE right now. They're having their veterans, like their veteran talent, like the New Day. They're kind of working in Omos to bring them in. Now they're going to have Big E kind of line, which is so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like it's definitely good, and like you said, I mean, and now with Big E now losing the IC Championship, I mean, I think he might get a rematch with Apollo. I still don't think again it's completely done, but between him and Apollo, I still think that they could have one more match. But then where do you think Big E can go now after this?
Well, knowing what we know now, I like what you just said. I can see him kind of get another match with Apollo. I don't see him seeing Roman Reigns anytime soon.
No, especially because again, when we get to the main event, like I said, I mean, right now, who could take on Roman? It's like who could be next for him,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so the next match then after that was the Raw Women. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to mention about the Hall of Fame as well. What did you think of the Hall of Fame coming out as well? The 2021 class. Wow.
I'm surprised the Bellas are in. I mean, I guess they kind of put them in because their show. I guess Total Bellas, but I don't know why they're in there.
Yeah, because I was just like I thought it was pretty good, and seeing Kane coming out there was cool, and RVD, and you okay, Gary?
Uh,
But yeah. Oh, but yeah, like it was definitely interesting that the Hall of Fame, and but again, like I said, we saw Kane and Rob Van Dam coming out there, so but yeah, so that's just our quick thoughts on the Hall of Fame and also the NWO. Oh, what did you think of the NWO? Sorry.
I think they're kind
Gary?
of outdated. Like the Hall of Fame, outdated at this point.
Yeah. And I like Hogan coming out last as well. So
Oh yeah.
but yeah, so after that match, well, after we had the Hall of Fame, then we had the penultimate match of WrestleMania, well, of night 2, which was then Rhea Ripley, who defeated Asuka to become the new Raw Women's Champion. Gary, and what did you think then of this match compared to the match that Sasha and Bianca had on night 1 in the main event? Gary? Oh.
It's, you know, Bianca blew this match out the water. I don't know. Asuka, she didn't have the energy I expected her to have. So, to me, the match felt kind of full.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I'm with you as well. Like, I'm with you there as well, Gary. Like, I don't think this match was as good as Sasha and Bianca. Like, I definitely think again that out of the two women's matches, I think Sasha and Bianca, did put on the better match of the two of them. But like you said, I mean, it was still good, and I still like the DDT spot that Oscar did off the apron. That was probably That was probably the spot of the match, but the bump of the match. And the way, like, again, she hit her head. Yeah. So, but yeah, Ripley winning again was again, like I said, another, former NXT Women's Champion as well. And what did you think of her winning?
Well, I knew it was going to happen. I think Asuka's going to take some time off. I like Reed. I thought it was too soon for her to have the title. Well, who else could you put it on, at the time?
Mm. Well, yeah, and obviously now that like I thought would happen, Charlotte now has come back, so I think that she's probably gonna be back in line to probably go after Rhea, probably next, because she attacked Rhea on Raw. I think I did see that again. She came back, Charlotte.
Yep.
So like that definitely seems to be what they're going to go with next. I think is a Rhea facing Charlotte for her first feud as Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah, I think so, and I like where Charlotte's coming out right now.
Yeah, like definitely, I agree there with you as well. Like I think it'll be a good match still. Like if they again like I said, have another match between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, because they had a good match at Mania last year. So but yeah, so and it'll be just interesting to see where they go with Ripley. But again, like I said, the match was, like I said, was not bad, but I just again wouldn't go as far as saying it was the best match of the night. But I just would say it was not bad.
I agree. Same here. It was a safe match, except for that DDT spot. Other than that, it was a safe match.
And yeah, and so that lastly then, Gary, that means now that finally that we are on then to talk about now the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania 37, and also the main event of the entire WrestleMania 37 weekend. And that was then the triple threat match for the WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, who came out with Jey Uso, with again his cousin Jey and Paul Heyman, to take on both Edge and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match here. And this was fantastic. This was a great main event for night 2, and like this definitely I think saved night 2. That this really did after, this was definitely the best match I think by far. Like maybe even again like through the whole weekend, like it was so good, and the reaction that Edge got as well was pretty insane. Edge coming out there and getting the ovation. The ovation that Edge got was pretty good. What did you think, Gary, of this match? I'll let you. I'll give this one to you to talk about first.
Yeah, I love this match. For the same reasons you talked about, the emotion in the match. You looked at Daniel Bryan. I had Daniel Bryan winning. The look on his face, I legit thought he was going to win. There was times in the match I thought he had it. Then there was times in the match where I thought Edge was going to win. Then there was times in the match I thought Roman was going to win. I loved how Jey Uso just came out just kicking everybody. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense, Well, after once things, I thought it was amazing, just the emotion involved, and it tied back into what Roman said. I'm going to stack you guys up on top of each other and pin you, and that's what he did. And I'm glad WWE didn't do the usual thing of saying, "Oh, this controversy and Roman was on Edge, Daniel Bryan was on top of Edge," or how they would have played it by Roman stacking them up. I'm surprised they didn't, botch that, but it made Roman look super, super strong. And like you said, I don't know anybody who's going to take the belt off Roman anytime soon if you're going to book him that strong.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing now, because after that finish, I mean, the way again, like you said, how we just pinned both, Edge on top of Daniel Bryan. It's like, how can you top that? How can you really top that now with Roman? Like who can you see taking the belt off him? I mean, I really don't know. It's definitely going to take like someone good to do it. I mean, I know again, well, yeah. I mean, Cena. I mean, we can't again have Kevin Owens going after him again because that's been done too many times. But I mean, maybe again we could get Edge again facing Roman at SummerSlam. That could happen again.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Edge does deserve to have a one-on-one match with the title.
Because to be fair,
with Roman.
You got to remember as well that he got distracted by Jey. They need to ban Jey out of these matches as well, because Jey is really the one who gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like the only thing with Roman Reigns' matches. Like for as good as his matches are, I had the same feeling with this, with Kevin Owens as well back at TLC, because that was a really good match. But I just felt like again, it's like that Jey kept interfering and.
Oh yeah, he definitely did.
I mean, I like the DDT spot on the steps. That was like really good.
Yeah, that was. And Jey, he really sold that spot. I'm like, oh, I even had to look at him sideways, like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and also like, what did you think of Roman as well, coming out wearing like the kind of like those things around their necks? I thought that was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, he had the traditional, it's not a lei, but I don't know what they call it. It's almost like a lei, but yeah, I loved it. It really amped up to Tribal Chief. Now we have to have Rock against Roman Reigns WrestleMania next year in Hollywood, because Black Adam should be close to being finished by the time then, to where he could do it.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, do you think then that might happen? Do you literally think Roman could actually go a whole year until The Rock's back?
The way they're the way they're booking them, I don't see why not.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely. Again, if The Rock comes back, because again, I think that is pretty much guaranteed. I think even Roman's tried to confirm it himself, like that he wants to face The Rock. We know it. He definitely wants it to happen, and they've been in discussions. I think The Rock's been in discussions with Heyman. So
yeah, and plus, when it comes to the Tribal Chief, that storyline, that title, is bigger than the championship. So Roman can still have that. He could still headline that Mania match without the title against The Rock. It was still headline.
Well,
So
yeah,
he doesn't have the title. Yeah,
because he did that the same with Taker as well at WrestleMania 33, because he wasn't the champion then, but he's still main evented. So
yeah.
And like definitely, although again he's better, he's done a lot better since then, Roman, and I prefer him now to back then. But
same here.
So like yeah, I was just again, and I predicted Roman as well because I predicted Roman to win. So I'm glad that I was right.
Yeah, good call on that one. I didn't see it. Good call.
No, well that's the thing because I was on pressure because again I was thinking Edge could have won, and he nearly did. I think Edge was the closest I think to doing it. I think he was slightly more than Bryan, but Bryan still had a good chance as well when he put them both in the label lock, and Edge could have tapped and Roman could have tapped. So
now let me ask you a question. Do you think Christian left for AEW too soon? I really missed Christian for that Edge match last night. For Sunday night. I mean, Christian could have came out as an equalizer. He could have came out, beat up Jey Uso. They could have had a spot or two. Then Christian could have came out and did the actual concerto with Edge. That would have been amazing, but it didn't happen. I really missed Christian having Edge's back, because that time.
Yeah, well, I agree, Gary. I mean, yeah, like it's definitely a shame that because I definitely think that could have played off really well having Christian a part of that end. Well, a part of taking out Jay, like that would have if they would have like done that to Jay, I think that would have been even better. But obviously not to Roman. But if they did it to Jay, like did the concerto to Jey Uso, that could have been like a mark out moment. But
yeah, for sure. Like Daniel Bryan could have took out Christian with the running knee, then
yeah,
Daniel Bryan eats a spear or something. Just you could have just swung it a couple different ways. But I just missed Christian not being there for Edge at that moment.
Yeah, I agree. Like I definitely think like it was definitely it would have been cool to see Christian now. I think it definitely would have had more emotion to it, even more emotion as well. But it was what it was. But I think like we know that again Christian now is obviously focusing now on being in AEW, and he's probably again still going to face Kenny Omega in AEW for the AEW World Title down the line, probably at Double or Nothing or surely around that time. But
that was surprising if he does.
Well, yeah, it will be a surprise, but I'm assuming that's why he's gone to AEW though, is to challenge Omega.
Yeah, too bad. The highest Christian would go is the TNT title.
Well, yeah, maybe he could win that from Darby, but I don't want him to win it from Darby though. Do you?
No. The Darby's money right now.
But overall, I mean, but that's it for night 2 of WrestleMania 37 weekend. So again, overall, Gary, I'll hand it to you again. What's your overall score on night 2 of WrestleMania 37? What will you give?
Night 2, I'll give it like I'll say 7 out of 10.
Okay.
it wasn't terrible, but at the same time, it wasn't nowhere near as good as. But I give I give it 6.5.
Oh, a 6.5. Okay.
It's six
Yeah.
and a half. You know, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll just give it. Yeah, around maybe a 7, about a 7 out of 10, because
Okay.
like I don't think it was even as long as night 1. I think the matches were more shorter on night 2 as well. So, but yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10, and just because I just think again it got off to a slow start with the opening match between Orton and Bray, and it kind of made the show a bit flat in the start, and you know.
Yeah, same here. They didn't have that momentum they had with night 1.
Yeah, and it's like again, that's why they always say like the big money spots is always, night 1, like what opens WrestleMania and what closes WrestleMania. So
And as what Bully Ray said, only thing you're gonna remember is the finish, and both nights finished on a good note. I feel like.
well, yeah, and that's the end. That's the main thing. Like at least again, the main event was so good that it didn't really matter about the first match because it delivered so much. So, and overall, then, what was your match of night 2?
Oh, the men's match, the triple threat match, the title match. Yeah, that was the match of night 2.
Yeah, and what would you give it out of 5 stars?
I'll give it a solid 4.
4. Okay. I'm in agreement. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say 4 stars. I think definitely as well. I'll say it was a 4-star, match, a 4-star triple threat match. Now, again, is it the best triple threat match? Is it better than Mania 20? I don't know.
No, I don't think
so. Maybe not, but it was definitely though still a great, triple threat, and definitely again a great main event regardless on its own. And again, like and yeah, like I'm in agreement. And how about then for your overall match of WrestleMania weekend? What would you give as your match of both night 1 and 2, like combined?
I would have to say Roman, Daniel Bryan, and Edge. Like the emotion all the men had. Roman came out, didn't say anything, and you could tell the match meant a lot. Like you were anticipating this match.
And also, I forgot to mention as well, but this is the first time the fans have seen Roman as his new tribal chief persona as well.
Oh, that is right, because it's been on Thunderdome. Wow.
Yeah, I just thought because that's why he was giving it to the fans. Like when he put Daniel Bryan through the announce table, like they booed him, and he sold that well. I think like that was a good. Like you could tell he's just so much into being a heel now. Like you just forget, like because there was fans there, and
you just think like a year and a half ago he had that nuclear heat. He couldn't even say anything without getting booed.
I know, like it's amazing again what he's done in the last year. It really is just amazing since he came back from SummerSlam. He's just been on a different level, Roman, and that's why right now he's the face of the company. That's why again, like that I believe that again he's the face of the company, the face of WWE. Even if you still might not like Roman, you got to respect him now. You've got to admit that he's making money right now. He's the top drawer, the top guy. He's taken over Cena. So, and I think he's going to last for the next 5 years. So
is there anything, any future predictions you're going to have after this Mania? Anything that you expect to see in the future?
Well, I still expect again that Roman will probably keep on to the Universal title. I do think they'll try keeping it on Roman for now because again I just can't see anybody stopping him at the moment. Edge again might get a rematch, maybe you say at a SummerSlam, because I think he might take a break to heal up and to wait for his rematch one-on-one with Roman. And I could see that. I think Cesaro, I think Cesaro could go for the Money in the Bank. I think there's still a push for Cesaro coming as well.
Okay.
And I think with Big E, with Big E, it will be interesting. We haven't even talked about Nakamura, but there's Nakamura as well. What do you think will happen with him?
I know one thing I wrote down for Mania was all the people that was not there. I wrote down. No Nakamura, no Aleister Black, no Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee may be hurt. No Buddy Murphy, no Ricochet.
And that's the thing. You've got to remember that's a lot of talent. That's a lot of guys missing off there as well.
And people who have wrestled at Mania, they may not have been a main event, but they've still been on the card in the past.
But the thing is, you've got to remember they moved the Andre the Giant Battle Royal to SmackDown, so that they were on that, but on SmackDown. So
yeah.
And also, I still think that Jake. And I still think that Jimmy could come back as well. I think Jimmy's going to come back and join Roman's faction as well. I think he could still come back, and because we haven't seen Jimmy yet still. So I think, like I said, that there's still going to be a way to go yet with Roman before he drops the title. I think he could hold it even till next year at Mania, and face The Rock.
I know there's one thing I'm going to tell all your listeners.
Yeah.
So mark my words. The Bella Twins will have the tag titles by Survivor Series.
Really?
I think they're going to come back and have a tag team title run.
Okay.
The Bella Twins. So you heard it here first from Husky Hero in Buffalo, New York. The Bella Twins will have the tag titles, the women's tag titles, by Survivor Series.
Oh, right. Wow. if you're all right, I might give you some money. I might have to pay you in dollars for that.
No, I'll take pounds. Just put it in the post. I'll take a couple pounds.
No, honestly, that will be, if you can get that right, I'll be shocked. But no, honestly, like if you predict it right, I will. Wow, we'll see what happens. It depends. The Bellas again, they did again take Bailey down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was a tease. I think that was the tease, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's why I said it. I'm like, okay.
But I knew that Bailey was going to refer to John Cena, though. I just knew she was going to mention Cena when she was out there.
Yeah. It was a low blow.
But overall, like I said, that's it for WrestleMania for another year, for WrestleMania 37. And that's our overall review of both nights 1 and nights 2 from me and Gary there. So like I said, we both again kind of have gone with the same sort of scores and the same reactions, really. Again, we didn't think that this WrestleMania was one of the best, but at the same time, it was good. It was, there were good things, there were some bad things, and yeah, like we're in agreement, me and Gary.
Sure, absolutely.
So, I'm like I said, things could have been different. But overall, I think again the main event again was epic, had an epic fight feel, and on night 2, and there was other good matches. Night 1 again, like I said, what we thought was the better of the 2 nights. But yeah, like I'm not sure again where to rank this in terms of, like I said, like one of the best Manias of all time. But I'll say, like in terms of recent WrestleManias, it was I think pretty good. But it's hard to judge it because again, it was a 2-night Mania. So
it's true. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. It's hard because they were split. So
yeah, like with me with WWE, they played it safe. Over where they played it safe, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So,
yeah, and overall, again, like I said, the fans were there and that they enjoyed themselves. They got to be in person, so and they got to see a good weekend of WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
So I just hope again that they'll be safe. You know. But I know again the weather was scary out there, but but I'm happy that everything went okay, and that the you know, and like I said, and that's it. So you know, so again, you know, kudos to the fans, and yeah, and overall, so that's it then for our review of WrestleMania 37 there. So again, guys, I just want to say thank you again to my friend Gary here, who joined me again from the States, from
Yay,
Buffalo.
Thanks.
So Gary,
Let's
again,
go,
do you want to plug your social media just quickly again before I let you
sure.
off here?
It's gonna be Husky Hero 716, Instagram, Snapchat, Spotify, wherever. Just type that in, you'll find me somewhere.
And yeah, and thanks once again, Gary. I've really again just enjoyed going through this review of WrestleMania 37 weekend. Back with you again, and hearing your thoughts as well as mine, and you again making some good opinions, some good predictions as well, like the Bella twins.
Yeah, you too, mate, Cameron. I feel good that what our predictions, you know. So I got some right, you got some right too. So which is good. So we work well together. So it's a good picks going on.
We were quite even. We were even, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah. So thanks once again, Gary, for joining me. We'll have to try and link up again soon. I'll get you back on maybe to do SummerSlam. Yeah, I'm not too sure because it's early. I know we don't quite know our schedules yet, but keep me informed, Gary.
Yeah, same here. Let me know. I'll be around. So I'm not hard to find.
No, and like I said, Gary will again come back on my collab again very soon. But again, you can check again his stuff out in the meantime. Again, like as I said, after you've listened to this or whenever you get the time, just to look up Gary on Facebook, well, all his social media, and yeah. So thanks again, guys, and thanks for tuning in to my WrestleMania 37 predictions. And me and Gary are out. Peace.
All right, later, buddy. Thank you.